Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Takesfrombelow. This is Kandarp.
This is Aayushi.
This is Jenny.
Hello, guys. Welcome to our Easter special. All right. So today we decided to do one story because that has maybe 3 or 4 updates. So we decided to just make it 2-part episode. One with the first half of updates, and then the second will have the rest of the updates. So yeah, it's only going to be one story. So let's do rock, paper, scissors. Whoever will lose will be reading the first update.
So fun. All right, guys. Bring your A game.
All right. You lost last time, so let's go.
Okay. Always was anyway.
I know.
No. Today's your day.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh,
That means you wait.
I lost.
Oh
Does
my
that mean
God.
that you read?
No.
No.
So I have to go against her too, because you won, so you're good. You're
Okay.
single
you're
right
single.
now.
Okay.
I was
For
like,
now.
wait, I already
I'm
did this
not.
again.
Are you ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh,
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
yes.
Damn it.
I was like, yeah.
Damn it. Oh, shoot. Okay. Gonna end up reading this whole story. Before I start the story, I just want to read that there are trigger warnings, and they are animal abuse, mental illness, threatening behavior, and the mood spoiler is disturbing.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to skip this, I recommend skipping the story.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So this story is from r/am I the asshole. The username is you/throwaway weird nephew. The title is for this one is Am I the asshole for refusing to host Easter dinner if nephew is invited?
Not really, because if I don't want someone at my house, I don't want them at my house.
Yeah. Not the asshole.
Reasons could be anything. I don't care.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, this is a throwaway because wife knows my account. I 37 and my wife 35 have been arguing about this all week. Our nephew 22 has always been troubled, even though Sil 44 and Bill 48 always have treated him well. Some examples of his unsettling behavior. He was caught feeding one of Bill's horses avocados, which are poisonous to horses to make it sick. I have dogs and I don't want him to hurt them as well. He demands to be called the names of 2 specific fictional characters. He believes he is these characters reincarnated. If you call him by his real name or refuse to go along with his delusions, he becomes aggressive. He carries around a plushie of one of these characters everywhere. There is a hole in the back. The hole is stained. I have tried not to jump to conclusions about what he does to that plushie and failed. Ew. It smells rancid, and honestly, just thinking about the thing makes me want to vomit. I have tried so hard to be patient with his quirks, as my wife puts it, but what really pushed me over the edge was an incident that occurred a few weeks ago. For context, wife has struggled with infertility for our entire marriage, and we had given up on having our own kid until we recently discovered she's pregnant. Given the fact that she's 35, we have been surprised and overjoyed. A few weeks ago, wife started randomly getting rude texts from nephew insulting our baby. One text implied that our baby would have fetal alcohol syndrome due to my wife's previous drinking problem, even though she has been sober for years. I wanted to call up that insensitive brat and tear into him, but wife insisted we gently let him know via text that we don't appreciate those comments. When he kept going and my wife started crying, I called Sil. She was able to shut him down and get him to apologize. I have no idea what the hell got into him, but I suspect it has to do with his hatred of women. Wife believes that he may be on the spectrum, have undiagnosed mental illness, and that he needs to be treated patiently. I think he has been coddled his entire life, and it has only made him worse. I think if someone doesn't put their foot down, his behavior will escalate into something dangerous. Here's where I might be the asshole. Each year, my wife and I host Easter dinner for her entire family. Wife has already forgiven nephew for this incident and is insisting we invite him so he isn't isolated from the family, something she believes will worsen his behavior. I see her reasoning, but enough is enough. I refused. I said she is being a doormat like everyone else in the family when it comes to him, and that our man-child of a nephew can't just make her cry and get away with it with an empty apology. Some of my friends are saying that I am being controlling and that I can't stop her from seeing her own family. I feel like I'm going insane. Am I the asshole?
No.
Yo.
No.
There's some.
Oof, that was a lot.
I
That
know.
was a lot.
Oh my
I
God.
feel like apparently it's not undiagnosed, but there definitely seems to be some mental illness there.
Yeah.
Like the way this kid is behaving.
Could this
He's 20, what, 21, 22?
22?
Yeah. But he's an adult, but yet acting as he's a child
Right.
on some stuff, purposely, what, trying to poison a horse or an
Oh my
animal.
gosh.
Also, like, how many like true crime podcasts have we listened to
So
where
many.
this is how they start?
So
Like,
many.
where they hurt animals and their behavior escalate after that. Like, and if you don't do anything, clearly this is how serial killers are created.
Yes. The plushie thing
Yeah.
really like grossed me out so much. I wanted to
He's
die
walking
reading
around with
that
the plushie
with a
and
hole
wait,
in it
how
With the
old?
and
stain.
stain.
Also,
22.
and he's 22.
Yeah, the
Okay,
kid's
that's
22.
clearly something's
That's what I
wrong.
said.
Like,
There's definitely
I
something wrong with
mean,
that.
oh
Like
my
it
God.
definitely
That
needs
gives me
to
chills actually reading this.
see a therapist or a doctor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just coddling him though, and that's not gonna help him out
Yes.
in the
No,
long
no,
run. It's making
definitely
him
not. Like,
yeah. Mm-mm.
it's something. I mean, I would not want him at my house either.
No.
Yeah.
And someone who also like someone who doesn't respect my wife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Terrible.
because one thing to remember that he mentioned the OP mentioned they have a dog, right?
Yeah, they
If
have
he's
dogs.
hurting other animals,
That
what's
basic.
stopping him
Yes.
from hurting
I mean, he tried
the
to
dog at the
hurt a
house?
horse, and I was
Yeah.
The
like,
horse is big. I was
Yeah,
like,
the dog. Oh my god, that's
forget,
scary.
I
forget
mean,
about
he
that.
could have give anything to the dogs, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'cause
And if he
even-
has more curiosity, he could actually,
Ugh.
instead of poisoning, he could have done anything other than
yeah,
like different ways of harming.
because for dogs, allergic to like a lot of stuff, like
They are.
even raisin or chocolate.
Yes,
If you give
yes,
them, that's
chocolate. Yeah.
it's
Oh,
poisonous to them.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Could easily just
Yeah.
He's gotta go.
harm them. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You want me to just?
Do you want to do rock paper scissors?
I can
No,
read
you
the
want
relevant comments if you
comments?
want.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you read the comments. Yeah.
Okay. The relevant comments, the commenter said he has a history of poisoning. He has a history of hating women. He has a history of mentally abusing your wife. He has a history of saying the baby will have birth defect. It seems like it would be fully within his capability to poison your wife to hurt the baby. Sounds crazy, but this guy definitely is. And OP responded, "This is exactly what I'm afraid of. I feel like nobody in the family wants to admit that his problems aren't just him having quirks. They are warning signs of potentially dangerous behavior later on, and they need to be dealt with. I'm glad I'm not alone in thinking this. I was starting to wonder if I was overreacting. Like the plushie thing. And him thinking he is certain fictional character in one thing is one thing, but the animal cruelty and anger towards women is what really have me concerned." And the commenter, another commenter or same commenter, I think it's the same commenter, respond, "Yes, the animal cruelty is a clear sign of him being an actual psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is how to make your wife see this without pushing it. Most people don't want to believe their family is capable of such cruelty. You will have to be very, very gentle if you intend to discuss it at all. Worst come to worst, very carefully watch the food and drinks. Personally, I can't believe anyone in the family puts up with the utterly disgusting plushie. I mean, how can they expect you to bring your future child around that?" And then the OP's comment is, "His parents got it for him when he was a kid. They thought it was cute when he brought it everywhere. I think on some level they still see him as a child, so they kind of refuse to acknowledge what he does to that thing."
22 at a time.
Yeah, Jesus. Part of this is their fault.
Yeah.
And
They're just giving it in, not really doing much or saying anything.
mm-hmm.
If they are, we don't know, but at least as of right now, what it seems like.
Yeah. And then there is another commenter said, not the asshole, but honestly, the whole family are um for allowing this to continue. How long has he behaved like this for? I can't believe no one has taken him to a doctor.
Mhm.
I mean, just the fact that this adult man is carrying around a stinky stained plushie of a fictional character is bad enough, but the trying to hurt a horse thing, and no one thinks that that's worth looking into. And Opie responded, his mom does try to push him to go to therapy and get a job. And he usually will get a therapist for a few weeks. And then she's back to begging him to get back to therapy. Um she didn't want to push him when he was younger, but now that he's an adult, she cannot make him do anything. At least he has learned after getting fired uh, for this previously, not to take his plushie to the job he manages to hold down for a month or two. Um,
He has managed to learn to not to take the pushy at work, but that yet he still walks around with it around the house and everywhere.
Mm.
Interesting.
Also, there is, I guess this is a comment because it doesn't say anything, but then it sounds like someone's asking a question or something. But
Yeah,
it
it
says,
seems.
"Do you know if he has harmed other animals slash wife's safety?" And then I guess this is what
What is
he
his
responded.
response here?
I do not know if he has harmed other animals. He was actually vegan for a few months at one point
Hmm.
and was very anti animal cruelty.
That's weird.
I know. I don't know why he flipped and tried to hurt one of the horses. And honestly, the fact that he can go against his own supposed values like that also scares me. I think I need to emphasize to my wife that this is a matter of safety rather than me just being mad at our nephew for his comments, although that is also a part of it. My wife has always wanted kids so badly, and before she got pregnant, I think she projected a bit of that onto our nephew. So as we watched him a decent amount when he was younger, I just sorry, I get that his family and she loves him, and it's hard to admit that someone you love could be a danger to you, but she also has our baby to think about. I think I will show her these comments in the morning after I make her tea and apologize for calling her a doormat slash getting upset while arguing. I need to approach this a bit more gently as you guys are confirming for me that it is really more serious than him just being rude.
I feel like the wife is not gonna like that he posted this
He
on
posted, I
Reddit.
have a
So
thing,
I
yeah.
we'll
mean,
have to
that's
see
why it
about
says
that.
throwaway
Yeah,
account.
but
That's
he
Mhm.
how
said
he
he's not
started
gonna
it.
tell her. So I don't
And
know.
she's pregnant, so a
Yeah,
lot of
that's a lot.
hormones and
Yes. Yes.
all right, I will read this mini update. So the mini update was 13 hours later, after original post. My wife and I had a long talk this morning in which I made it clear that I was more concerned about her and our baby's safety than anything. I also apologized for resorting to name calling last night. Wife isn't a doormat. She has she just has a lot of love and patience for her family. It was a hard talk with some tears from both of us, but she agreed that this has escalated to a point that may become dangerous in part due to be enabling from all of us. Honestly, I am also guilty of coddling him, especially when he was a child. It's hard to admit when someone you took care of as a child has grown into someone unsafe to be around, which is true. But I think the idea in this comment might work as a way to set boundaries without shutting him out permanently. We are going to call his mother and explain the Easter dinner isn't happening this year if nephew is coming, and that he is welcome to come over when he has a diagnosis and has stuck with this therapist at least a couple of months.
Mm.
Thank you for all your advice.
At least there's a positive side
Yeah.
to it,
Yeah.
or at
For
least
now.
For now.
well,
We'll
for now.
see.
But I mean, at least they're saying, hey, you can't come over until like they're essentially if they want the nephew to have any relationships, so to speak, with the OP, the parents are pretty much forced to have this kid in therapy. So at least from that perspective, it's positive.
Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't mean the parents goes through it or not. That's a
I
different
mean,
story.
I'm
Or if the kid
happy.
goes through it.
Yeah. I'm happy that wife actually took it well.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. I was
Right.
expecting worse.
I know. I was like, she would be
She's
like
gonna go crazy.
filled with all the hormones and oh my God.
She is.
And if she was taking him as like think of him as one of her kid,
Oh yeah.
right? Oh my God. If someone tells me my niece, I'm coming for you. I'm dangerous at this point. But yeah.
Interesting. So
Do you want to just read it, or since we did all the reading, or do you want to
yeah, okay.
fight?
No, I'm gonna read the next post.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So nice.
So there was another update posted 2 weeks after. The OP says this bizarre series of events has started on an Easter and has only gotten weirder since. For those of you who did not read or don't remember my original post, my nephew was banned from our recent Easter dinner due to the concerning pattern of behavior, including recent disturbing text messages to my pregnant wife about her unborn child. Since then, his parents eventually agreed to not to bring him after a lot of arguing. His sister-in-law, nephew's mother, eventually admitted that he may need professional help and that the wife and I may have some reasons to be worried for our safety around him. And on Easter, our worries were proven more than reasonable. He showed up uninvited using brother in law's car. His parents came in sister in law's car. Our dinner was interrupted by an aggressive pounding on our door. I don't know how to put this without it sounding insane, so here it goes. Nephew was at our door, holding a sword and dressed up as a joker. He tried to say something, but I slammed the door in his face and told everyone inside what was going on. Chaos predictably ensued. Brother in law, generally a calm guy who I never seen freak out or get angry, turned bit red and went outside. He ended up literally chasing the nephew around the house, screaming at him in an attempt to get him to leave. Neighbors came outside, and sister in law went into the damage control mode, talking down one concerned neighbor from calling the police somehow. He dropped the sword in the chase, and brother in law tackled him in the front lawn. They got him into sister in law's car, somehow left with him. Easter dinner was ruined. Wife was in tears. I was so mad, I was shaking. Good news is that this was a wake up call for sister in law and brother in law. Under the threat of them withdrawing financial support, nephew has agreed to seek therapy and surrender the access to his Tumblr blog, which he previously would spend hours a day posting on. His mother went through it and found a lot of alarming posts, including content about his hatred for women, screenshots posted of his text exchange with my wife with caption bragging about his hurtful behavior, and several disturbing fan fictions with violent sexual content. They believe him being too online is worsening his behavior and are hoping that limiting his access and forcing him into therapy will help. Thank you all for who has convinced me to stand my ground and in the comments of my original posts.
Okay. I have a few
Wow.
things to say. First of all, was he seriously attempting to kill these people, or did he thought that it would be a really good joke because OP and his wife thought like, hey, he's dangerous, and he's like, you know what? Let me just show up and
As a
scare them as a joke,
Yeah.
as a joker to
Yeah.
and be funny.
Yeah.
But like, still, it's scary shit.
That's so scary.
And then like when mom goes on his Tumblr account and see the post, and there's like, what about this thing? Screenshot posted of his text exchange with my wife with captions bragging about his hurtful behavior. What are those text messages that he did
Yeah.
with your wife?
I think it's the fetal alcohol syndrome thing
Yeah,
that
the
he
one
said.
that he had
But that's
earlier.
the only one?
I
Because
bet
it
there's
sounds like it's
Part of it.
more.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It sounds more, and several like hurtful behavior
right.
and several disturbing fan fictions with one.
That's scary. He's an incel, and
Yikes.
him
Yeah.
showing up as the Joker is just insane
Yes.
to me.
With
Like,
the sword.
do you think he had the makeup and everything?
Oh my
Like,
God.
oh my
guess
god,
so.
this is intense.
Also,
This is.
I wonder what was that the fictional character?
I'm guessing
that-
it's Joker. Maybe he revealed it.
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering
I mean,
now.
like, I wonder why he didn't reveal it before, though.
Yeah. Well,
Or maybe he's trying to make it like, okay, I don't want anybody to
No, they-
identify.
Yeah,
No,
but
they
now
have
he
it.
doesn't
No,
care.
the OP never actually posted the character, but I think they mentioned that he wants to be called by those two fictional characters, but OP never posted said what it
Yes,
was.
but that's
now
what
that
I'm
I'm
saying.
thinking that one of them might be Joker.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so. So does he carry on a Joker
I get
plushie?
no, but that's
so
what I'm saying.
creepy.
Like originally, when original post came
Yeah.
out, he had it set up as a throwaway. So he's like, if I put
Yeah.
the fictional character, it's very obvious that it
Yeah.
has to be his story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But oh my
Yeah,
god,
this is crazy. I did not
Yo,
expect
I would
this.
fucking move at
Yeah.
no contact at
Yeah,
all.
this is very
I'm
dangerous.
fucking selling this house, emptying out this house overnight and selling
Oh,
this.
Yeah, I'm
God.
done.
I'm
I'm not having my
done.
kid around him. No way. Scary
God.
stuff. Oh my god, this is frightening.
Quote relevant comments on there. So not sure if this is posted by OP or not, but it says this was part of Best of Redditor updates. I might suggest that 5150 hold to his parents, but his mother is already worried that taking away the phone was too much, as he didn't show up at my house with a weapon.
What is 5150?
I think it's like a psych hold, psychiatric hold. But let's make sure.
Yeah, it's being admitted to psych.
Right under
Yeah.
that, it says characters, but then there's nothing. And then comment.
Yeah, I saw that.
Are we missing something?
Probably.
There might have been removed.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. So the relevant comments. Let's go with that. One of the comments says, not the asshole. Look, for all I care, you can be the rabbit identifying as a frog, or believe you are Superman if you aren't hurting anyone and can fiction in society or have it all. But this guy's scary and dangerous. He hurts animals, hates women, and has a false sense of reality. The family has enabled this behavior for years. Nope, I would not want him anywhere near your pregnant wife and later your child. He is going to hurt someone.
Mhm.
And the OP replies back with,
Yeah.
funnily enough, you almost guessed which two character he identifies as.
Oh.
A frog.
I'm sorry.
Wait, he said a frog?
Yeah, frog, the Kermit,
Kermit the
to be
frog?
exact.
Oh, but that's so random.
Yes, as in the Muppet.
Oh, that's
And
weird.
the Joker.
Ah, it was the Joker. Oh my
Yep.
god. Ew.
Not
what a
Superman, but
freak.
for the same source material.
Oh
I'm
my
going
god.
on Kermit because I don't know what Kermit is.
You don't know the
Yeah,
green
the frog,
frog?
the Kermit the frog.
The puppet, you know.
Oh, yeah, I
puppet guy.
know. I know.
The puppet
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
Oh, wow.
Well, the part of the frog, the Kermit the frog, and the
Also,
Joker.
That's wild.
Very opposite two characters.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
gonna
right.
say,
So opposite. Like,
Joker is the evil.
he's the villain.
Yeah,
And Kermit's like the
Mhm.
hero, really. Like, if you think about it, he's a good guy, right?
I don't remember a lot of his shows and stuff, but
I feel like he was a good
I think so.
But the internet has made him weird too. So maybe that's the Kermit he's I have to put this image in there. Well, maybe not with the but that's funny that
But that's the image they have.
wait, what if that's him?
That's what he's probably obsessed with.
Oh, creepy.
Yikes.
Creepy. Oof.
Maybe this is him.
That's what I'm
This
saying.
is a Tumblr account. It says it's Kermit all the way down, baby.
Oh,
All Muppet,
no, read his
all
post.
whole,
No, we're
all
not reading that.
pronouns.
We're not going in there.
Okay, okay. But later on.
At Muppet
We'll
Joker,
come
it could
back.
be him.
We'll come back to that.
You have to say that, Yushi. It could be him.
Oh
my
God.
god.
That
I have
is
chills. This is weird. This is scary.
And there is on the bottom, it says edit the amazing you slash M- Molly Tub and you slash lazy dash requirement 2371 found the Tumblr account.
So it was his Tumblr.
It is his account.
Oh, and it's still active after all this? Oh my god. We have to read some of those posts.
wow.
Okay, well,
And then someone else scrolled through it and it dates back to May 2023.
oh my god.
And yeah, there's a warning sign. We will put link to this best of Redditor update if anybody wants to read. But like,
I mean, he hasn't been active since
I mean, obviously
Thanksgiving.
he hasn't. But if anybody
Thanksgiving.
wants to see his old post,
Oh jeez.
it's very.
No, we're
Yeah.
I'm saying if any of
Yeah, I'm sure
anybody
they
no.
will
We'll post the
else.
link. Yes.
That's what I
Yeah.
said. We
Yeah,
will put
yeah,
the
yeah.
best of Redditor update link, and they
Yep.
can just go and get it themselves.
Yeah.
All right. I can do the third update if you want.
Yeah.
I'll be nice. Do it. All right. So the third update title is Final Update, hopefully. First and second post of my on my profile for those of you who are out of the loop. Thank you for the kind messages and advice in the comments. The situation has been taken seriously by brother-in-law, wife, and myself. Sister-in-law still has her head buried in the sand a bit, but we are working on it. At the very least, she has not lifted the phone ban and she has been looking through his Tumblr as well as his other social media to see if he really had violent intentions on Easter. Sister in law still believes nephew that he only came to talk. In any case, he has his first therapy session with the new therapist this week. He has promised to stick with it, and mostly because sister in law said she would return his phone if he stuck with it long enough. Not sure how long enough is. The plus side of him being a man child is that he is either willingly to just buy himself a new phone with the little money he has, or he doesn't realize that he is an adult who can gain financial independence so his mother can't threaten to take away things from him. Like he's a child in a timeout. He has told his mom to tell us that he's very sorry for his behavior and that it won't happen again. I'm skeptical. Wife is still holding out hope, but refuses to see him unless he shows substantial improvement. Brother in law is looking into resources for places he can't get nephew committed should have become necessary. But he believes that the situation is under control as long as sister in law doesn't budge. They have also confiscated his sword, and I don't think he has access to other weapons. I was also sent a link to nephew's Tumblr blog. Sister in law has already seen it on his phone but did not want to share it contents because she feels like we have villainized her baby enough. I went through his blog with my wife and didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or pour bleach into my eyeballs. His blog basically confirmed what you all have been trying to tell me about his pattern of violence and hatred for women. He posts a lot about how females are all entitled and how he hates ever having to interact with them. Additionally, he seems to be stalking one of his exes, which is a whole other layer of concerning. He also writes sexual explicit fan fiction about Muppets, which is not a safety concern but has permanently ruined the entire show for me. Sorry, this update isn't very exciting, but a lot of people express concern for my family and I's safety. So I'm letting you all know the situation is being handled and everyone is okay. For those wondering about the plushie of Kermit, it has gone missing according to sister in law and brother in law. I hope it stays missing forever. And then there's the edit. People are messaging me saying that he is back to updating his Tumblr account. So that likely means sister in law has gone back to her words. I'm going to call brother-in-law and update him. Also, he's still hiding the plushies somewhere because brother-in-law was trying to throw it away and he can't find it anywhere.
Wow.
This is insane. Oh my god.
That is
Glad we know the
genius.
plushie is Kermit. But
He's also probably listening to Andrew Tate's podcast.
oh my god, for sure. It's probably where he gets his persona from.
Yeah,
But this is just
hatred toward women. I wonder if like was he always like that? Like
I'm sure. But why does he hate
I mean,
white
it's like
women?
they had
that's
to
what I'm
see
saying.
it
Like
at
it
some
has
point.
to.
They
It
had to
has
have
to be.
had seen that somebody has had to notice that at some point the change or when
Yeah.
it started happening, and not not when it even for an OP, not only see it when it came to his wife.
Yeah.
So there had to be
Or
other
like
signs out there.
if he's stalking his ex, is this ex done some? I mean, exes is one of them done something, and that's why now he has hate for women. Like
First of all, I was surprised to hear that he had any exes. Like
I
who would
know,
deem
but
this a
that's why I was
thing?
like, but like I'm very curious why like you hate women. Like what happened?
Mm.
Who knows? Oh man, this is just so much. I did not expect this from an Easter episode.
Yeah.
It
What
went
the heck?
sideways
Yeah,
and from Easter to
this is
a
I mean,
whole
Easter
different
bunnies
thing.
are so cute.
they are. He ruined everything.
And-
Muppets, Easter. It's all
Oh
ruined.
God, that is crazy.
I mean, there is a lot of comments on it, and they are like all big comments, and I'm not feeling like I wanna
No. We'll link
read
everything.
these comments, but
Yeah.
But basically, all these comments are basically telling the same thing to him. That stay away. Very concerning. And
Yeah.
mother, come on.
I know. What is wrong with you?
I know.
Oh.
Why? But
Was there any post on that one where the OP commented back, or
there is. Oh, sorry. There is 3 more updates after this.
well, yeah, no, I'm talking like on that update. Is there anyone that OP responded back to?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at they're pretty long, and
Yeah.
doesn't seem like he posted anything on that one.
No, but like if I read OP's comments, I need to read the commenter's comment before, even if
Yeah,
he
but I don't see
responded, and
anything in there.
I don't feel like I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
I'm not seeing anything in there though.
Yeah, I'm good.
Also, link if anybody wants to go check it out.
Exactly. Yeah. So next 3 updates will be on next part.
So make sure you like and share, subscribe, and
Yes.
make sure you follow so you can stay tuned for the next episode that will be released.
Yes.
So it's definitely getting interesting.
I know. I know. It's like I'm watching a horror show.
I know. This is crazy.
But I'll see you next week,
All right,
guys.
see you next week for now.
Bye.
Bye.